talk about the game of football and where it's headed, and certainly we talk about the SEC and the conference that we've got. It's incredible leadership, and these guys do a great job, and I think it's for the benefit of our game, so I enjoy doing it. Now I'll open it up.
Kirby, obviously the question of roster management and how you handle the portal, that's something the coach is probably going to talk about. At this point, what are your options in terms of roster management?
I think that when you look at the history of the last 15 years in college football, it's been very subtle change. Kids have always been able to go places and change, make decisions. Roster management hasn't changed from the standpoint of we've been working off 85, been working off medicals. There's been slight changes to the number of guys you can sign annually. There's been a slight increase in the number of players that come out early over time. I mean, you look at history, it's gone up, but each individual school's impact has varied from maybe one coming out to maybe schools having 5 or 6 come out. But it's been very subtle changes, so I think as it continues to grow, it's something we deal with. I don't think there's a major concern there. We had 85 scholarships. You operate off your 85. And so the NFL teams do it with less than that. So I'm not as concerned about roster management as I am making sure that what's best for the student athlete is what we do.
Well, obviously, this is the first time the ability to leave and go where they want is in the students' hands, not the coaches. So is it more difficult to plan ahead maybe and anticipate things from that perspective?
I don't know if it's 100% accurate what you said, because they could always leave. They just might not be able to get their release, but they still have to sit a year. What's really changed is the graduate transfer opportunity to go anywhere you want to go. And that's been probably the more major change. But not all guys that go in the portal they get to go play right away. Certainly it's been portrayed that way, but not all of them do. And some of them do it for different reasons. I mean, every kid's got their different reasons for doing it. So with each kid, it's done on an individual basis, and that's something the NCAA has to decide.
Kirby, do you use the Oklahoma drill because the NFL's going to ban it?
Yeah, I think you first thing you say Oklahoma drill, what is that? Because everybody has a different perception of what that is. So I know that everybody uses it different ways. We try to be, we got a great medical staff. Ron Corson and his staff do a tremendous job. So Oklahoma per se, 2 men like a battling rams 10 yards apart, I would never do that. I don't think that's football. So I think if you asked 100 coaches what Oklahoma drill, you'd get 100 different answers because everybody calls it something different. We're really smart about the way we practice from an injury standpoint. We've had one of the least injured teams in the last 3 years. It's because of the way we practice. Well, I was in the NFL, and we practice really smart there too. You can imagine when you've got a 53-man roster and you've got a guy making 5, 6, 7 million, you're going to be smart about how you practice. I think as coaches, we're always looking at that. So I don't know what you define as Oklahoma drill, so I don't know how to say whether we do it or not. We are safe as we can. We tackle 3 to 4 times in the spring, probably 2 times, 3 times in fall live, and I know a lot of coaches that tackle the entire preseason camp live, where we don't do that, and try to be smart about what we do.
You mentioned Ron Corson a second ago. Can you update us on Dwan Mathis? Obviously, Ron's been really instrumental in that. You've been really involved in that.
Yeah, Dwan's been awesome. His family's been awesome. He's handled everything with great class. Dwan's doing great. He got out of the hospital yesterday. He's begun rehab today and therapy, and Ron and his staff did an unbelievable job recognizing things, and Piedmont Health Center there in Athens did a tremendous job as well. So we're expecting a full recovery, and timeline is the least of our concern right now. Not even worried about timeline. We're worried about his health, and both his parents have been involved, and his mom's been down, stepmom's been down. They've been really incredible.
How do you balance, you talk about how much contact you have, teaching them to be sound tacklers, teaching them to be sound blockers, while keeping in contact where you're comfortable?
So you have all kinds of drills that you simulate that. You have moving dummies. You have ability to tackle the donuts, robot dummies that move. You change direction. I mean, tackling with feet, hips, eyes. It's not all contact. So every agility drill you do all off-season, in essence, there's a form of tackling. Now, it may not be contact related, and some coaches would argue that you need a lot of contact to get where you need to go. Some coaches would argue you need a better athlete to be able to tackle a better athlete, so you go out and recruit better. But to each his own, and we do a lot of studies injury-wise. The SEC does studies, the NFL does studies, the NCAA does studies to find out where they are. So, you know, I think that they do a tremendous job of protecting our game and making sure that it's safe.
Have you